Didn't listen to me then, I bet they feel me now. Time don't let me lose it. The booth not about to prove it. I set goals and pursue it. You the best to never do it. Invest my money talking fluent, stupid, ducking the Judas. It broke my heart, but over my eyes, you have no honor, I have no choice. Chasing the commas till I'm gone. I've been left for a minute. On my way home, mama, I promise, got caught up in it. Damn. Everybody eats when I'm batting at the plate. First, second, third, home, $1 million base. Didn't listen to me then, I bet they feel me now. Time don't let me lose it. The booth not about to prove it. I set goals and pursue it. You the best to never do it. Invest my money talking fluent, stupid, ducking the Judas. It broke my heart, but over my eyes, you have no honor, I have no choice. Chasing the commas till I'm gone. I've been left for a minute. On my way home, mama, I promise, got caught up in it. Damn. Everybody eats when I'm batting at the plate. First, second, third, home, $1 million base.
What's up, people? We back.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Time to pop the red pill. I just ate, so anytime you take Master Focus, you gotta take Master Focus with some food. So I just ate. I just got back from Austin, so I gotta get back on my grind, get back on my grizzly. It's time to level up. Oh, that's some good coffee. What up, people? How y'all feeling?
Hotep Jesus. I love that guy. He's terrific.
Sorry, I haven't been here all week, but again, like I told you, I was in Austin, Texas for Consensus 2023 with the Syscoin team. Had a really, really fun time. Almost too much fun. Six, Stacks, all those people, Wendy O, Syscoin team, like, Hotep, you got to stay another day. He's got to stay another day. I was like, yeah, I got to get back and do Hotep's been told you. But I also said, I don't allow myself to have that much fun. Like, partying 4 nights in a row is just not allowable in my life. Let's see, I partied Tuesday night. We partied Wednesday night. Then I flew back Thursday morning. And they wanted me to stay till Friday. Like, do you want me to party 4 nights? When was the last time I partied 4 nights in a row, bro? I was in my 20s. That was 2 decades ago. Absolutely not. I will not allow myself to get that out of hand. Oh my God. But does a part of me regret leaving? Absolutely. Absolutely. I left so much fun behind. But the grind is the grind. The grind is the grind, and I'm here with you today. Oh shit. Natasha reminded me the last time I partied 4 days in a row was Hotep Con. Exactly. And I can barely manage that. I'm a lightweight, man. But yeah, we were at Hotep Con. Hotep Con tickets on sale right now. I hope you guys come to our premier event, our annual event every year, our conference, the Hotep Conference. It's a really, really, really wonderful time. Great people. Always fun to connect with the team and the squad. So make sure you get your tickets at hotepnation.com/HotepCon. And use coupon code Hotep Jesus for 10% off your tickets. Oh, yeah. I think I have to reset the timer. I always forget to reset the timer because the price goes up every so often, every like 7 to 15 days. I have to go in and I have to like reset the timer. Yeah, let me do that now. I'm a type of person that's like, it's like really unprofessional work and stream at the same time, but at the same time, I think there's some education to be had here. And the only way to defeat procrastination is to do it now. So whenever I think of something, if I don't do it now, it's probably not going to get done or get deferred too far into the future to where you are no longer in alignment with God's plan. Here we go. All right, timer. Let's change this. Let's push it back there. Wait, we're not in. Wait, today's April 28th. Oh my God. All right, it's updated. Done and done. So I'll see you guys at Hotep Con. All right, let's get into today's presentation. Let me just separate the screens out here so I don't show the wrong thing on your screen. Want to make sure we show you exactly what you're supposed to see and not like some back end work or something like that. All right. Shout out to Rumble. We got Rumble channel popping, Hotep TV over on Rumble. Let's bring up our first tweet of today's stream. Shout out to Master Focus. You know, I don't know if people know this, but I started this brand. Did you guys know that? Did you guys know I started Master Focus? This is my brand. Like, my money went into this. And we started this brand. Shout out to Alex, my partner. And we started this brand, Master Focus. Pretty much designed to help you focus, concentrate, put you in a better mood. Want to concentrate? This is like the grind pill. This is the grifter's pill. I had a meeting with Alex earlier. And next week, we're releasing a free product for everyone. It's actually several products in one, but it's all free. Bunch of information. Basically, the grifter's blueprint for productivity. That's what we're calling it. The grifter's blueprint for productivity. So that's coming out next week. I'll be recording the promo video after I stream today. So hopefully I don't take up too much energy during the stream. But yeah, it's me and Alex's baby. So, you know, I just wanted to make that clear because I think some people thought I was pushing somebody else's product on my stream. And no, this is mine. Like, my LLC, my business. Yeah, that's ours. So, yeah, thank you for everyone who has become a member and has supported. I appreciate you. So, I ran across... Should I play this one first? No, let's play the other one first. Hold on, I want to play the other one. The other one, let me tell you something, yo. This is why AI is never going to replace man. Let me show you exactly why AI is never going to replace man. Hold on, let me see if I find it. All right, here it is. Let's pull this up. Did you guys see this clip? All right, turn your volume up. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Kiko. I'm 23. I go to UCSB and I also bartend. Hi, I'm Kiko. I'm 23. I go to UCSB and I also bartend.
Bro, who did that? Who made this video? I normally don't like to laugh at people, especially for their physical appearances, but I'm a big Star Wars guy, and yeah, That's Jabba the Hutt's voice. I don't know if you guys know this, but that's Jabba the Hutt's voice. And I lost it. I think I've played this video by myself at least 1 million times. And I crack up every single time. Now, when I first watched this video, I thought that was a biological woman. I really did. I didn't really pay much attention to it. I just thought it was about the weight. The shape this person's in. All right? And shout out to the people that watched the show last night. You know how I feel about this situation. I might repeat my thoughts on this community again. So let's go back. So there's actually more context to this episode. There's this new podcast called Whatever Podcast. And they have a format similar to Fresh and Fit's late night situation where they bring a bunch of girls on and talk about things. But better. I like these guys better than Fresh and Fit. Mostly because like Myron always just like rages. He just has like a rage fit. And it was like, allowing women to put you into a rage fit it's kind of feminine in my opinion. But anyway, I like the way these guys handle the women. I think it's much more intellectual, and they come outside and do other topics. They don't just talk about relationships. They do other topics, which I thought is brilliant and smart. So yeah, let's go into the clip. Let's see here. Let's play the clip.
If you were such a godly man who's returned his whole life around for God, you should learn for a little bit more acceptance and tolerance.
Let me ask you this. Is God tolerant?
I think God made
Now, anytime somebody starts to ask you a question like that, you have to know it's a setup question. You have to know it's a setup question. They probably have some ammunition to back up whatever it is they're thinking. So you got to watch what you say. Let's go back.
is all in his light. He didn't make any mistakes, right? So if he created trans people, then he did it for a reason.
Did he create trans people, or do trans people choose to be trans?
It was not a choice for me.
You didn't choose to go on hormones. You don't choose to dress this way. You don't choose to identify as a woman. You don't choose to wear a weave. You don't choose to put on makeup and present yourself as a woman. So I'm going to go back to the original question. You said it's my job as a Christian, godly man.
He's got a point. He's got a point. Are all of those things not a choice? I thought they were. But, I mean, here's the thing. The Bible is very homophobic, okay? The Bible is not tolerant of homophobia at all. In fact, when we look at some of the ancient pyramid texts of ancient Egypt, also homophobic. And as Shaka Akmos would purport and teach, the Bible comes after the Assyrian drama. So the predecessor to the Bible also was homophobic.
And to be tolerant, because that's what Christians are supposed to do. My original question is God tolerant?
I think it's your job to mind your business.
No, my question.
See? The emotions. This is what happens when you bring immature people on your show. Now, you saw her introduce herself before. She said she was 23 years old. Now, apparently, the brain doesn't finish developing or something like that until the age of 25. However that thing goes, I don't know if I'm right or wrong. It's just something I read on the internet, so it might not even be truth. But the fact of the matter is your opinions definitely haven't been formed at the age of 25. You just haven't seen enough of the world. And so they bring these young girls on who are like in college or post-college, and like 23, you're just young, right? You don't know shit. You're an idiot. You're an idiot at the age of 23. Complete moron. You know, so I don't expect anything of substance to come from these women, and I would be surprised if somebody under the age of 25 actually said anything with substance.
Question to you is God tolerant? You projected all of these
I would say God is tolerant.
In Genesis, it says that when God created mankind, he made them male and female. And in Leviticus, it says for a male to have sexual relations with another man as he would with a woman That is an abomination in God's eyes and is worthy of being put to death.
How many times has the Bible been translated? How many times has the Bible been translated?
This is correct, is it not?
The biggest thing that we harp on in Judaism is a man should not lie in bed with another man, and then we take that to mean don't.
Do you guys know that that scripture was changed so many times though? Oh, the Bible has been translated. Obviously, that's not a falsehood. It was not written in English, was it? No. Do you know Latin?
That's a really it's a really bad argument about well, let me not misquote her.
Written in English, was it?
Okay. So there are arguments about the validity of the English language in relation to the Bible, okay? And what she's doing, she's taking an argument for a whole nother argument and bringing it into this conversation. And you just can't do that. So the argument about the English language in the Bible is about the identity of Jesus Christ and the fact that the letter J had not existed, okay? So that is the discrepancy with the English language. If we were to look at in Hebrew or one of these other languages, you know, there's no J. It's some people say Yahweh or Yahweh, which is the Hebrew letters Yod He Vav He, and that also leads into the Tetragrammaton. But anyway, like Joseph, you know, Jesus, like these names are not antiquitous, if that's a word. These are like words that came about later on, names that came about later on. They're very German in their origin. So she tried to take that argument, which she probably heard somewhere, and then bring it into this. But in this instance, it doesn't work. It fails.
No. Do you know Latin?
And they're about to roast her right here because she used Latin, and the Bible originally was not written in Latin.
Do you know Latin?
It wasn't written in Latin.
Okay, whatever was
Aramaic.
written in. Oh yes. Okay, it was been.
Aramaic,
my whole point
Greek,
is
and Hebrew.
Aramaic, Greek, and Hebrew is what the Bible was apparently originally written in. And she said Latin. And it's just like, you know, when it comes to certain topics, I remember I said this on, 2 episodes ago of Hotep's Been Told You. What did I tell you guys? I said, you don't have to be the smartest person in the room. You just have to be smart enough to know when to shut the fuck up. You know, that's the level of intelligence. The minimum level of intelligence everyone should aspire to is to be smart enough to know when to shut the fuck up. And she has not reached that level yet.
Greek and Hebrew.
Let me finish.
You're
Jesus
trying to educate
Christ.
me on the Bible,
okay,
but
let
you
me
don't
finish.
even
Do it
have the most
after.
basic.
She wants the host to let her finish, but it's just like you opened the door for his response, right? Because you said,
Do you know Latin?
right there. That's a question. Do you know Latin? So you've introduced him into the conversation, then got mad when he corrected you.
It wasn't written in Latin.
Okay, whatever was written in.
Aramaic.
Oh yes. Okay, it was been.
Aramaic,
my whole point
Greek,
is.
and Hebrew.
Let me finish.
He's answering your question or correcting your question, and you're frustrated. So again, emotions, right? And you find this a lot with the female species. Lots of emotion, not a whole lot of logic.
Trying to educate me on the Bible,
okay,
but
let
you
me
don't
finish.
even
Do it
have the most
after.
basic facts
Do it
straight.
after. Let me
don't have the
finish.
most basic facts
Let me
straight.
finish. What I was saying is the Bible has been rewritten so many times.
False.
It's been translated so many times.
Faithfully and accurately.
The Bible has been translated multiple times, and there is proof and evidence stating that most of those translations from those scriptures, they were actually saying a man should not lay with a child. Or we're talking like that it's not in the Vatican. There's not. We don't have these things.
Yeah, that's not true. It definitely says man. And like I said, even when we go back and study the papyri of Ani, or what some would call the Book of the Dead, also in there it says man shouldn't lay with man. Not in that exact verbiage, but it's very homophobic.
Oh, I'm sorry, I
know
can't
where you-
listen to that false. I learned the Bible in the original language that it was written. I learned in Aramaic and I learned in Hebrew, and it's never a child. It's a man should not lay in bed with another man. And so Jews don't even share beds. Like on sleepaway trips, if we went on overnight, Jews, 2 guys, are not allowed to even share a bed for a sleepover because it's that serious that it also even more so means that you should not do anything gay.
Shout out to my Jewish folk. Judaism's just slowly winning me over. Just right there, I'm just like, I'm almost sold. Wow. Can't even sleep with a man. 118 in room. Welcome, people. Hit the like button. Let's get the likes up. But obviously, this conversation here is surrounding the T people. So let's continue. Let's go to, where is it? Didn't I see another clip here? I think this is it. Yeah, here we go. So it's not the same episode, different episode. Same conversation. Let's pull this up.
Or the oldest woman in the world. Honestly, bro.
And I think that's the same chick because it says Kiko. And I think that's what she said before. Her name was Kiko. Let's go back.
The oldest woman in the world, because then I wouldn't be gay.
So the question is, would you rather sleep with the hottest trans woman in the world or the oldest woman in the world? So let's ask the chat. I'm going to put the chat up here. Let's see what the chat says here. Start a poll. Okay. Would you rather sleep with the hottest oldest woman oops, come on, damn it. So put that in the chat. Who would you rather sleep with? Let's go in.
What? You really just want me to just rip you a fucking new one. I swear to God.
Are you like Chase, would you rather smash the hottest trans woman in the world or the oldest woman in the world? Honestly, bro, the oldest woman in the world, because then I wouldn't be gay.
I'm gonna have to agree with this guy. Yeah, for the same exact reasons.
You really just want me to just rip you a fucking new one. I swear to
Now Kiko's mad now because he said that. Now let's keep in mind that Kiko appears to be a person of color. A person of color. I don't understand. Well, I do understand how this came through the BLM channels. So I don't understand how it came to be. And it's sad that it came to be, but this is what happens when tens of millions, if not hundreds of $millions get pumped into a PSYOP that called itself BLM. And now you'll find that this new crop of POC are championing the T people. Let's continue.
Are you like...
Chase,
Yeah.
how dare you be transphobic?
Yes, actually, what the fuck do you mean? Yes, that was
Because
so
if I
unnecessary.
had sex with a trans woman, I'd be having sex with a biological man, and I don't want to do that.
The question is, would
That's
they
not
sleep
what you
with
said, though. That's fine. If that's
Because
what you
I'd
want
be
to say.
gay if I had sex
That's
with a
not
biological
gay.
man.
That's not gay.
That's
And I don't
gay.
even care if you're doing this for like whatever, but like shut the fuck up. Actually,
I'm doing
You
it
look
for
like you have a
what-
little
Hey,
bit of
why
respect.
don't-
His
why don't-
street.
He's got a STFU because she's offended. It's his podcast, I believe.
too far.
Identity.
That's
Why
too
don't you
fucking
Why
far.
don't you make me
That's
shut
too
the
far.
fuck up? Because I have an opinion that differs from yours.
I'm not gonna be a
Too
part
far
of something
at
that's
all.
starting to say shit like that.
She's right. I mean, that's really
But
hateful,
she's
bro.
not. She's
That's hateful. Here comes the white liberal, because that's really hateful, bro. How is that hateful?
not. It would technically be homosexual. A trans woman is a biological man. Sue me. It's true.
Fuck, dude, that's mean. I also gotta go. I
It's
gotta
not
go.
fucked up.
Now the white liberal has to follow behind the POC, right? That's the virtue signaling. You see it there taking off. She has the virtue signal and follow behind the POC.
It's real.
That's
it's
his.
true.
Okay, if you guys want to
It's
respect
factual.
gender identities, that's his though. That's
Now we got based white woman speaking.
His sexuality.
Any opinions you want, but
I'm not allowed to say that. I'm not allowed to say that.
Yes, from a biological woman who doesn't even have any trans friends, that was too fucking far.
Biological woman who doesn't have any trans friends, that was taking it too far. So she is upset because he said if he were to have relations with a T woman, he would be gay. And that is what made her offended. And I guess what we're supposed to do is we're supposed to say like, oh, because this person identifies this way, we're supposed to believe that too. Oh, wait, hold on. Just got a text message. So we're supposed to go along with the BS as well. We're supposed to believe the nonsense. We're supposed to believe that hot garbage, right? Now it's fine. Like, you want to identify as a goddamn frog, you know, by all means. But that doesn't mean that I should want to have relations with you. Like, why do I have to live your reality?
What? A man of God who doesn't judge a Christian? Yeah.
Yeah, you know what God said? It said he made the man and women. He made the man and woman. I just told you I'm not gay. I'll pass on that. Thanks, though. Who knew that stating biological facts would make people walk off the show? Chase.
Oh, man. But again, like I said, these people are young. These are really young women. Brain isn't fully developed yet. Jonah Ryan, thank you for the super chat. Still ignoring Rome, Bacon, Rockefeller influence. Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's later on, though. Canon Hotep said it's hateful and insensitive until the boyfriend come over and give him HIV. Oh, my God. Canon. Oh, man. We got to get the Canon Hotep emoji built up, man. Let me add that to my to-do list. Canon Hotep emoji. That's the next one we're going to put on the channel for all our wonderful viewers. And Canon, if you want the original files for the emoji, I could send them. You could have them on your channel too. I don't give a damn. What's mine is yours. He said, can someone actually sleep with a trans person? How? If they still have their junk? I believe that's when you would practice some anal activity. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's how that would go. This week I learned of something else called docking. Anybody familiar with docking? So I heard about this thing called docking this week, and this is where you take one male sexual organ and you point the other one at it and then wrap the foreskin of one over the other. Now, I don't know what that's supposed to do for people, but that's called docking, and yeah, that's a thing. So I have a comedy bit I'm working on this topic with T people. I'm not going to share it here because it's just going to be, it'll probably get my channel banned. So I'll keep it for the comedy clubs. But yeah, pause. I got to pause myself just for telling that story, Steph. But this is what I learned while I was in Austin. I spent way too much time in Austin, and this is what I've learned while I was in Austin. Sorry, chat. My bad. My freaking bad. All right, we got a lot of videos to go over today. I just wanted to start off with something light. I didn't want to get too heavy today. Wait, hold on. Where's that? Here it is. Let's go to the fucking grifters in Congress. I don't know if you guys saw this movie or this clip. I'm sorry.
Okay.
It feels like a movie. Let's listen to this, okay?
Chad.
Thank you.
There are new provisions in the House now for members to get reimbursements for rent and utilities and meals and things. We understand how tough it is to pass a pay raise here, but is there a concern that some in the public might interpret this as a pay raise? Are members getting something extra on top of this, and is that politically a problem?
No.
Why not?
It's a reimbursement.
But talk about that. Couldn't people perceive that as an issue? I know that was something you argued for back in December.
The effort to make sure that members are reimbursed for housing expenses has been bipartisan in nature from the very beginning. It was a bipartisan recommendation from the House Modernization Committee. There was then a bipartisan unanimous vote taken by the House Administration Committee in late December of 2022. There was a bipartisan process working with the nonpartisan CAO to develop procedures for the reimbursement mechanism to be appropriately implemented. And then another bipartisan unanimous vote was taken at the end of March.
Mr. Jeffries.
Okay, so that's an issue. That is an issue. So basically what he's saying there is Congress is now, well, some people are calling this a pay raise. He said, I'm not voting on that poll. Let's end the poll now since that segment is over. 95% said they're choosing the old lady. I'm with you. Grandma, you about to get these back shots. Pause. Well, no, that's not pausable, is it? Come here, Granny. So Congress wants to be reimbursed for housing expenses. They want their housing expenses to be paid for. And obviously there's bipartisan unanimous vote. I mean, who wouldn't vote for something? You put me in Congress and said, hey, yeah, you want some more money? I'm gonna be like, yeah, obviously. But this is the problem with politics. And I've been saying this for a while now, that until there is no incentive to be a politician, you will get nothing out of politics. It should, politics needs to look like a scary job. It shouldn't be attractive. I always said, if you want honest politicians, then, a potential way to set this up is you have to live in the poorest neighborhood of whatever place you represent, right? You have to live in the poorest neighborhood. You don't get pay. And when you retire, you have to live in a monastery. Now, how many people? Raise your hand if you want to become a politician now. There are no perks. We're taking your bank account away. No, you will live on government assistance. You are a politician and you're going to pass bills. So now you must live on government assistance and see what that's like and live that life. All these perks, limousine, liberal and all of that stuff. It's no good. It's no good. And as long as it's, a very cushy job, and we're probably not going to get much out of it. It's a big no to me. I think congressmen get paid well enough as is. Not all of them, obviously, but many of them get paid very well, especially the senators. Many of them are millionaires or 10 millionaires. They got their book deals, their Grift deals, their speaking engagements, et cetera, et cetera. And I think after a certain point of income, total income, I think your benefits as a politician should start to wane. You should lose, many of your privileges. But yeah, so that's what's going on in Congress. I just want to put that on your screen in case you guys weren't aware. This is the Grift Report. Welcome to where we go over all things very grifty, and that is just a very, very grifty thing to do. Let's go across the pond to Ireland. Ireland is about to pass one of the most radical hate speech bills yet. Merely possessing hateful material and devices is enough to face prison time. Not only that, but the burden of proof is shifted to the accused, who is expected to prove they didn't intend to use the material to spread hate. This clause is so radical that even a Trotskyist people before Profit opposed it as a flagrant violation of civil liberties. Dark times. This is going to happen in Ireland. Shout out to Keith Woods. YT. It's the Twitter name. And, you know, the reason, you know, I don't really like to talk about too much stuff overseas because, you know, I like to focus on what I know. But I did have Count Dankula on. He gave us a nice little overview of a little bit of history in the UK. But sometimes you have to look and see what your neighbors are doing so you know what to be aware of where you are. Because this can easily, I mean, for example, the Bud Light kid, you know, the man in the dress, whatever his name is, he wants it to be illegal to misgender people. Like, you know, you would, I guess it would be a misdemeanor or a felony. I don't know, you know, what that looks like. But that's how, you know, they want to pass legislation. And being that so many people in Congress suck dick, that might happen. All right, let's go to the next topic before I wild out. My content's going to be a little bit different now, mostly because I visited Joe Rogan's comedy club and saw raw comedy. So, like, I'm not censoring myself as much as I usually do. So it's going to be raw and uncut from now on. Not as bad as the club, but yeah. I'm going to be a little wild. Because that's naturally me anyway. I'm a little wild naturally. You know, I tone it down a lot for the tubes. Anyway, just my disclaimer. Let's go to the next clip. Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk, one of the best grifters on the planet. Let's see. Got this clip from our president, 46.
And turn this primary from a campaign that's about negative attacks into one about what we're for, because we cannot get reelect. We cannot win this reelection. Excuse me. We can only reelect Donald Trump. And turn.
Now, keep in mind, this is oh wait, hold on. So Charlie Kirk says that Instagram put a disclaimer on this, one of these fact checker situations. The same partly false information was reviewed in another post by fact checkers. There may be small differences. Independent fact checkers say this information has some factual inaccuracies. Fact checker says partly false. Video is deceptively edited. Is it?
And turn this primary from a campaign that's about negative attacks into one about what we're for, because we cannot get reelect. We cannot win this reelection. Excuse me. We can only reelect Donald Trump.
Yeah, I don't see a edit in that. So, but I mean, Instagram is also the platform that banned my first account for exposing the rainbow agenda as it relates to children, which I had exposed a bunch of things, but as soon as I exposed the fact that they were attacking children, this was some years back, they banned my account. So I would expect that from Instagram fact checkers. Shout out to TikTok, where I've taken my talents to and much more appreciated over there. But yeah, so my point in playing this video is the fact that this is the guy that they plan to run. This is it. This is what you got right here. He's obviously not well. I don't know how he's going to make it through the next run. They're going to have to come up with some really, really, really good Adderall, some drugs, maybe to get him some master focus.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
But yeah, that's bad. That's bad. He couldn't even fix his words, and then he ultimately said Trump will win. Now, I don't know if that's Freudian slip, you know, something went over the meeting, which is contrary to what Uncle Hotep said last night. Uncle Hotep says that Biden's going to win. I doubt that. I think Trump will win gloriously. Yeah, I don't even see it being close. Just look at the economy. Just look at the economy, and people have felt that. I think the only thing that will make it close is, you know, the trans George Floyd that comes out next year. Shout out to Lindsey Graham. I think he had mentioned that too, or was first. If it's even Lindsey Graham, I forget. But next year we'll probably get a trans George Floyd moment, and that's the only thing that would really, really affect this next election. But as we can see, the Prez is not fit for the job. He's not fit for the campaign trail. Let's go to some black news. I'm not going to read this whole thing because, frankly, I don't like reading. At least not people's dumbass opinions. So this woman here has gotten Black Twitter angry, mostly because she was telling people that the lady involved in the Emmett Till situation who died this week basically didn't lie on Emmett Till. The lie came after he was already dead, and this was in court. So she was telling the truth, but let's look at her profile and see why she said this. So she identifies as spirit's gender. I don't know what that is. I support all female people, trans or not. So let's just ignore the trans part. All female people. All right. So obviously one of these quote unquote feminists, you see by the name here, Women for Women. There's a dinosaur here, whatever that's for. You see some female plus female situation. And then she says here does not include males. That is feminism to me. Oh, and Haiti Montgomery is a man, and Slytherin, I don't know. I don't know. I just see mental illness all over this. But anyway, therapists. I really want these people to have to go through therapy. But she hates men. Let's just call a spade a spade. She hates men. And as the woman, Carolyn Bryant Donna, right, who accused Emmett Till of improper advances before he was lynched in 1955. So she was fact checking this. But basically, what happens with these black feminists is, or this is like wave number. This is like fifth wave feminism, I guess we can call this, where you have the rainbow included in it, or really as a priority over the female agenda. It's like rainbow then women. So that's like fifth or sixth wave feminism. But with the POC types, what happens with the POC types is, well, they hate black men specifically. So if there's any opportunity to minimize anything, any bad event against black men, they target that and try to alleviate that, right? So, yeah, that's what's happening a little bit on Black Twitter. And as you can see, she wrote this long diatribe, blah, 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 blah. And then Black Twitter was not exactly kind to her. I would say, generally as a warning, anytime you see the septum ring, this nose piercing, and anytime you see that, you just gotta run. Just run. That is like the symbol for like hate. It's a symbol of hate, I think. I'm not sure. That's just how I perceive our world. It appears to be a symbol of hate because every time I see one, that person's usually very hateful. And I just want them to get therapy. I want, I really sympathize with this woman. I want her to get therapy. I think something has happened traumatically in her past. Some man has done something to her, and I just think she should get therapy. It's just quite sad that people live like this with so much hate in their heart. I would never want to live a life like that. Moving right along. So, Ashley St. Clair. One of my homies. Me and Ashley are cool. I like Ashley. She's really cool. She's really good peoples. I think she's working with Babylon B now. And she says, so you're telling me this hunk of junk landed on the moon? I would say Ashley's probably an A-list grifter. I'll put her, if I had to make a tier list, she'd probably be an A-list grifter. She hasn't reached S-class yet. She's somewhere between A and B. So this is the probe that has gone up to the moon, right? Allegedly landed on the moon, right? This thing, okay, right? Now, why am I bringing this up? Well, if you give me a moment, I'll show you what happened. And all this does is just prove my theory correct. That's all this does. And we're going to come back to your boy Biden in a second and show you how he's slipping up. All right, let's go. Let's go to Kami Google. I'm going to type in Japan moon landing. Right? And let's go Reuters. Let's click on Reuters. And let's put this on the screen. Okay. Here we go. Japan's iSpace says moonlander unexpectedly accelerated and likely crashed. Said its attempt to make a first private moon landing had failed after losing contact with Hakuto R Mission 1 M1 lander when it unexpectedly accelerated and probably crashed on the lunar surface. So basically, this thing is trying to make a landing on the lunar surface, and then it accelerated, right? So what they're saying is either, well, I'll finish reading it and I'll tell you what I think happened. The startup said it was possible that as the lander approached the moon, its altitude measurement system had miscalculated the distance to the surface. Now, I don't know how an altitude measurement system works, but why would it all of a sudden malfunction and miscalculate the distance to the surface? I don't know. Also, I'm not an aerospace engineer, so my thoughts on this should probably be disregarded. So it says it apparently went into free fall towards the surface as it was running out of fuel to fire up its thrusters. Chief Technology Officer Ryo Uji told a news conference. So basically, it sounds like two stories there. Maybe they're both true, but one guy's saying, yo, we ran out of gas and it went into free fall. Another person saying our, what is this device? Altitude measurement system failed. It sounds like two different stories there to me. You know what I think? Here's what I think. Hold on one second. Anybody ever heard of this? Let's pull this up on the screen. Right here. This is from Star Wars, tractor beam. A tractor beam was a projected force field that manipulated gravitational forces to push or pull objects. Such devices were employed in some vessels, creating an energy field that allowed them to lock on and move other vessels or objects. Let's go back. Let's go back to our overlords on Google. Now let's type in moon and Death Star. Let's look at it. Now, if we look at, let me see if somebody's done the work. Here we go. As you can see here, George Lucas and his team compares them, right? George Lucas, who I believe was trying to tell us something, some hidden messages here, but it says here on Mirror, Death Star Saturn moon that looks like Star Wars ship could support life. Now this isn't our moon, obviously this is a Saturn moon, but it looks just like the Death Star, blah, 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 blah. But generally the Death Star does look like a moon, right? It's just what it looks like. Now, why am I saying all this? Why is Hotep Jesus saying all of this? Now, I don't know if you've ever heard my moon theories in the past, but when I was a kid, my dad told me there's people on the moon. And I've always kept that in my mind, and I thought about that And I've sort of built on top of that and called the moon people. And it seems like we just can't get to the moon. We can do everything in the world, but we can't get to the moon. Why does every mission fail when going to the moon? I'll even show you another one. I'll show you another failed moon landing. Let's go here. Let's type in Israel moon mission. All right, so we go to Israel moon mission. And Israel has some of the best technology on the earth. And as you see here, Israel spacecraft crashes. All right, now how does this one crash? Let's see. But the little robot couldn't quite make it, crashing into the gray dirt around 3:25. Mission control lost communication with the spacecraft. We had a failure in the spacecraft. We unfortunately have not managed to land it. So everybody gets right there, and all of a sudden, it just crashes. Why does everybody crash when they get to the moon? What is going on the moon? Does the gravitational pull change? Because we can take away my theory of moon people and just say maybe there's a gravitational pull around the moon that we just don't understand. I mean, we know how the moon affects the earth and our gravitational pull or some shit like that, and the tide and the lunar influences and all of that. So maybe the moon itself isn't to be fucked with. Whether it's moon people there or physics, astrophysics, whatever it is, I say leave the bitch alone. I say leave it alone. But I lean more towards the side of thinking that the moon is a spacecraft and people live inside the spacecraft, and every time we come close, they hit you with the tractor beam. Like, stop it. Stop trying. Leave us alone. You shouldn't be here. We landed a rover on Mars, allegedly. But the moon right there, we can't, nobody. I mean, Japan has tried, Israel's tried, Russia. Now they say that the last time it happened was Russia and America back in the day, I think the 60s. So yeah, you could take that for what it's worth, but the moon grift is a whole nother grift. All right, let's continue. All right, so this story I saw pop up when it kind of first began. I don't know if, well, the conflict there is not new. Let's say that. And I have two sources I want to share with you today. One of them is Zero Hedge. The other one is Mises Caucus. So let's pull this up on the screen. Okay. Trapped Americans in Sudan shocked and disgusted, left by Biden to fend for themselves. So when I first saw this story, I don't know, maybe it was last week or something like that, I wanted to wait and see who spoke about this. And I know Samantha spoke about this, and I commend her for speaking about this, but frankly, people are like completely ignoring what's happening in Sudan and South Sudan right now. And this place has been going through a civil war for a while now, but things have escalated apparently. And Americans are there. Let's pull this up on your screen. So, update. Sudan is continuing to stare into the abyss of a full-blown civil war as the battle for control of the capital of Khartoum between two rival generals, now reaching the 2-week mark, results in a mounting death toll. Currently, dozens of countries have for days been racing to get their citizens out via military transport, planes, ships, and via cross-border land routes into Ethiopia and neighboring countries, but not the United States. A surprisingly blunt report voicing intense criticism toward the Biden administration has been issued by CNN Friday, which writes, as the crisis in Sudan continues to unfold, there is mounting anger among Americans who feel abandoned by the U.S. government and left to navigate the complicated and dangerous situation on their own. CNN further points out that robust evacuation efforts are underway by many countries. As we detailed below, a C-130 evac flight sent by Turkey even took on small arms fire while landing outside the capital. And the Chinese government has said it has successfully evacuated 1,300 of its own nationals thus far, with state media confirming evacuation operations ongoing by land and sea. We have a quote here. It says, I am incredibly shocked and disgusted by the American lackluster response to the health and safety of their citizens, Muna Dual told CNN, whose parents were forced to exit via Port Sudan in Saudi Arabia. So there is, I guess, a number of American nationals on the ground in Sudan, you know, working, whatever it may be, and looking for extraction. And, you know, Biden is just like, oh, yeah, I'm running for president next year. What? Meanwhile, China and Turkey are running missions. They're like, screw it, we'll go get our people out. But we haven't. So I just asked myself, you know, like, I've been sort of following this story all week and didn't have any plans to talk about it until I saw this wonderful thread. Let me find it. Hold on 1 second. Which added some wonderful color to the conversation. Right here. Okay. Boom. Okay, so here, Victoria Nuland traveled to Sudan in order to encourage democracy. Shortly after her departure, the two warring factions who had just began successful peace negotiations reverted to war. We now know Sudan contains infectious disease biolabs, the same as Ukraine. Now, there's this whole rabbit hole of, you know, who running these. Gil Bates' name was mentioned. Dr. Fausti's name was mentioned in regards to these labs. We're not going to get into that, but many of you can go down that rabbit hole. So, Mises Caucus says Sudan will be exploited in the U.S. proxy war against Russia, like so many countries have. It will be flooded with weapons and heralded in the news as the next bastion for democracy against fascism. When it has outlived its usefulness, it will be abandoned and left obliterated. Now, we have some Sudan cliff notes here. It says April 24, 2022, U.S. ambassador appointed to Sudan following a 25-year lapse. So this is just last year. August, September 28th, U.S. ambassador warned Sudan against finalizing Russian naval base deal. November 11th, Blinken urges Sudan to consider U.S. support for the rapid formation of civilian-led transitional government. Okay, you see that, right? So they're looking for some sort of regime change. Regime change. We all know that, right? We've seen that before. Okay. December 5th. UN brokers framework agreement between Sudan's military leaders and leading pro-democracy parties. Now, you say pro-democracy, all I see is pronouns, but that's another story for another day. December 7th, Blinken threatens travel ban for Sudanese who endanger framework agreement deal. February 12th, 2023, Sudan confirms deal for Russian naval base. Key players Lavrov and Burhan. February 16th, Biden admin sends $288 million in humanitarian aid to Sudan. Victoria Nuland visits Sudan to discuss democracy. April 8th, conflict escalates between Sudanese armed forces under General Burhan and paramilitary group RSF. April 29th, U.S. evacuates Sudan. So, what's going on here? Lot to be speculated. Like I said, I've been following the story. I don't want to spread fake news, but my wheels are turning when I see information like this. So, U.S. involvement enters and things escalate right after. Russia says we'll put a naval base, and America's like, wait, here goes some money. And then we don't hear anything about this in the media. Like, everybody's talking about a different story. Steven Crowder or, something like that. Meanwhile, the next Afghanistan is right underneath our nose, and this will be a topic of conversation months, maybe years from now. But it's just like not a lot of people are talking about the Sudan thing. So just keep your eyes on Sudan. Russia received approval from the Sudanese government to construct a naval base. The Charlie Indigo Alpha could not allow that. As always, there are plans within plans, another attempt at hurting Russia while simultaneously setting the scene for another infectious disease outbreak. Mises Caucus, LP Mises Caucus on Twitter, Kofi is on tight. You know, that stuff is so swampy. I ain't even like touching it. I don't want the black vans rolling up outside my house. But that story is very, 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 very swampy. I'm going to read super chats. We're going to go to the phone lines, 202-596-5631, 202-596-5631. And I'll pop that in the chat here. We'll open up phone lines, talk to the people. And then I got to log off and create some content. So feel free to call in. Jonah Ryan, he said, just going to say it. If they believe they have earned the ultimate cheat code where they can rewrite programming, maybe time to turn off the console. Uh-oh. Yeah, Eric, it's too much. And the Sudan story needs so much research to really report on it. I mean, you have to go back into the conflict and its origin. I remember, you know, as far back as I can remember in my African studies, there's been conflict in the Sudan between North and South Sudan. So, yeah.
Call from
Rudy the Vet.
Rudy the Vet Russo, what up, brother?
What's going on, man?
Life is
What's
good.
going on, HJ, man?
Life is good. Talk to me, bro.
Great podcast last night. First of all, man, like I know you're but that whatever podcast, man, that girl said she had she's 23 years old, man. Anything she has to say seriously, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's the problem with young girls these days, man. My stepdaughter, she knows, man. She knows. Like, and I'm not even a real dad, man, but she knows.
Yeah.
That you better keep them things closed until she's about 17, 18, and that guy's got to come deal with me before he ever gets to deal with her. you know what I mean, man?
Absolutely.
That's how dad's gotta be, man. You gotta tell you gotta keep up with your daughters, man. You gotta keep on them, man. You want good women out there, man.
Yeah.
And that girl like earlier, because I was watching, I flip through sometimes when I'm bored and sitting around on the YouTube clips, man. And then they come up where she was talking about her body count, and I'm like, 50 people at 23. God, man, get out of here, man. Get out of here.
Yeah. 23. You know, I really don't want to. I don't want to hear anything you have to say, to be honest. You know. You said what?
No, you're right. You're right. I mean, first of all, I mean, at 20, like you said it perfectly. You haven't had enough life experience to give me anything positive or that I could take too seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, you hit it best, but the fact that you done laid down for 50 men already, even if you were scholared up and, a genius, I still don't want to hear from you because you've been bedded down by 50 men, and you can't. You're an idiot.
Yeah.
You're an idiot.
Yeah. You're not making such wise choices. So why would I listen to your wisdom?
No, all the wisdom is gone, brother.
Yeah.
As far as the Sudan, look, anywhere Victoria Nuland goes, death comes behind it, man.
Oh,
anywhere
my God.
She is the harbinger of death, man.
Is she? Tell me more.
Dude, okay, Victoria Nuland, for anybody who don't understand who this woman is, was Dick Cheney's right-hand woman in the Bush years. Then she comes in the Obama years, and they don't kick her out of the State Department. And then she starts the Maidan coup and dipples her hand. She's the one where the tapes come out when they couped the government in Ukraine, where she's like, well, Poroshenko's got to be our guy. And then she's the one picking basically the next leader of Ukraine. Then Trump comes in and they kick her out of the State Department. She goes over to some think tank in D. You know what I'm saying? And then the minute he's gone, boom, they bring her right back to the State Department, and we're at war with Ukraine. The minute I was watching that, and the Mises Caucus put that thing, whatever, and they were like, Victoria Nuland, the harbinger of death, man. She is a goddamn demon, man. That woman is a goddamn demon, man.
Oh, man.
She's a demon, man. She's a demon, man. Like I said, man. This is all by design. We all know it. Alex, you know Alex. I've been listening to Alex for over 20 years. It's all by design. I mean, I try to keep the hope up. But like I said, you better be prepared. There's going to be a day we better be prepared to lay your life on the line for the freedoms of your children. Be prepared to go play chess in the gulag with the Hoteps.
Yep.
Or become one of the godless sheep. And that choice is coming fast. The choice is coming fast.
It is. It's coming real fast. That's actually, I'm going to be creating a video today and then sending it to my partner Alex. He's going to edit it up, and that's exactly what we're talking about. Like, there's not much time left here in America. Well, you know, if we look at an average of how long an empire lasts, America's definitely on the tail end of surviving, and we don't have much time left. That's like, you know, our message with Master Focus is like, you don't have much time left. You need to start doing some biohacking and really squeezing the most out of your days. Because if you don't get it now, if you don't get to this money now, if you don't get to your success and your economic upward mobility, if you don't create cash flow now, it's going to be a wrap for you, yo. It's going to be a wrap.
Oh, it is. You better have resources. You better have a way of keeping yourself self-sustainability.
Yeah.
But listen, brother, I want you to dig into this topic for me, man.
Okay.
I mean, I'm out here on the road, bro. I don't have time to. One of these days.
The Sudan topic?
Set up. Dig into this topic. How come? All right. So we talk about democracy. First of all, I hate that, man. We are not a democracy, man.
Right.
We are not. We are a constitutional republic.
Right.
And the more and more they sub out the republic term with democracy, the more and more democracy have we become, man. We're not a democracy. Democracy is two wolves and a sheep deciding what's for dinner.
Right.
Founding father statements. You know what I mean? But tell me how we're the only country in the Western Hemisphere. We're the only country in the Western Hemisphere that has mass mail-in voting and no voter ID. And we criticize South America, and we criticize Mexico. Even the thinking communist Canadians have voter ID and no mail-in voting, man.
You said, wait, we're the only what?
We're the only country in the Western Hemisphere, from Canada all the way down to Argentina, all the way down to the very tip of South America. We're the only country that has mass mail-in voting and no voter ID. We're the only one. We're the only one, man.
Wow.
Do the research. I'm telling you, do the research. Check it out. Because the left's always talking about voter ID is racist. European countries, the only people in any European country that can do a mail-in vote are the military members that are overseas. Otherwise, it's in-person voting. There's no mail-in voting. They got rid of it back in the 70s, man, in Europe because it's full of corruption.
Yeah.
And yet here we are in the United States expanding it. And I've seen too many examples of people on the internet and people that I know showing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ballots showing up at their house with 5, 6, 7 different names. It's done.
So I guess you could just, if they come to your house, you can just fill those out and send them in.
Fill it out and give it back. They don't check, man. I'm down here in Carolina. I walk in. The first time I moved down here in 2020, I threw my ID down to vote. The lady says, "You don't need that." I said, "How the hell do you know who I am?" She said, "You're registered." I'm like, "But how do you not know who I am? How do you know?"
Yeah, you got to verify
me.
me.
Don't need that. Yeah, she said, "You don't need the ID." And I'm like, "Well, here, I want you to take it for my own peace of mind."
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So think about that. Because last night, man, I was chiming in. Like 50% of the cabinet is his cabinet is the gay mafia, man. I mean, let's be real.
Whose
man.
cabinet?
The puppet. Biden's cabinet. You got Karine Jean-Pierre. You had the little fruity guy that was running the nuclear waste site.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just pumping it full of the gay mafia, man. And the gay mafia, they're not going to be. They need a puppet in there. They got to have stupid old Joe in there, the moon that doesn't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they can keep their claw, because we are ran right now by the gay mafia, man.
Oh,
this country is ran by the gay mafia.
The Rainbow Mafia?
No, the gay mafia.
The Rainbow Mafia?
The Rainbow. My bad, brother. The Rainbow Mafia, man. The Rainbow. And listen, man, I'm also, I'm a freedom lover. So You wanna do that, be that. Yeah. You know, I'm cool. Do your thing behind the closed doors, man. When they're pushing it down everybody's throat.
Yeah.
You see, there was the clip Unc was talking about the guy from Africa.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and that clip blew my mind. He's like, yeah, the Americans came over here and offered us money and told us for transgender rights and gays. And then he says, the Russians and Chinese come over and offered us money for infrastructure and weapons and military training.
Right.
He's like, what are you going to ride with?
Mm-hmm.
And we're doomed, man. We're doomed.
Yeah.
We're doomed.
Yeah.
And they got it rigged up. They got it rigged up, man, boy. And the Republicans are in on it. It's the uniparty's exposed, man.
Yeah.
Uniparty's exposed because the Republicans in Pennsylvania, they're the ones that okayed the mail-in voting. And they knew what was coming off of it, man.
Yeah.
They knew what was coming off of it, man.
Absolutely. I want to reserve my comments because I'm not, I don't want to talk about the election interference and all of that stuff because YouTube hates
listen,
it. But
brother, I understand. Listen, this is what you do. You know, none of my opinions are shared by Hotep Jesus. This was the cleanest election that ever happened. I'm sorry, Susan, YouTube, Google, and all the overlords.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But think about it, man.
Yeah.
Just I want you to peep that, man. Look at up and down from Canada to the tip of South America. Not one country but ours has no voter ID and mail-in voting.
Yeah, that's wild.
And ask yourself why.
Yeah.
I love you. I just wanted to rumble. I'm sitting here getting an oil change, bored as hell, man. You came on at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
Hotep and Bill, brother.
All right, Hotep and Bill, man. That's Rudy the Vet Russo. Oh, man. Yo, that's true, y'all? We the only country in the Western Hemisphere that does that? Is that true? Damn. Inside the Ages, he says feds effing with us in the A is always bipartisan. Yeah, I said this before. Hold up, Cannon called me.
Please leave your message.
Wait, no. Cannon, went to voicemail. Call 202-596-5631, Cannon. I'm going to get you in here. Tune in and drop out. He said, I'd vote for ChatGPT before I vote for Biden. Oh, man. Oh, man. That's bad.
Call from
Cannon.
Cannon, what up, bro?
What's up, bro?
Not much. Chilling, man. What's on your mind?
Man, that chick was wilding on that show. What's that show called?
Whatever, yeah.
It's funny because she probably came in there, thought she about to school him, and then she just got all frustrated. Like you said, when somebody asks you a question, you already know they got the answer to that question. You know what I mean? And she just fell right into it. But them boys is right. Them boys is right, you know? No, the Bible says you can't sleep. You know, you can't sleep or lay down with other men.
It says that.
And a trans woman is a biological man, period, full stop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I said in the comments, you ain't gonna be happy. They gonna keep talking all this tolerance and free love or whatever they want to call it.
Yeah.
Until they go to the doctors and they try to figure out why they can't stop coughing. They got that Billy Porter pox.
Oh man, yeah.
They tripping. Did you see I reported on the story last night that Washington State, Oregon, just passed a bill and that's basically giving kids self-autonomy.
Yeah.
When it comes to getting transition.
Yeah, and
I guess it's along the lines of child abuse.
Yeah.
Like they consider it child abuse if you don't allow your kids to do it.
Right. So they have like some anonymity involved where the parents don't have to know.
And I was telling the people about the story about David Reimer. I did a story on like an exclusive. I think I did it on I might have did it on Hotep TV.
Mm.
And the doctors messed up with his circumcision and burnt his shit straight off.
Oh damn.
Right. So then they couldn't. What's the word? They couldn't. Oh shoot! Hold on. My bad. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, my bad. I don't know if you heard what I just said, but yeah, I was talking.
Wait, what kind of operation was he getting done?
He was getting a circumcision done, bro.
As an adult?
No, he was born. He was just born.
Oh, okay, all right. So his parents signed him up for a circumcision. Okay, and they ruined it.
They burned his entire penis off, bro.
Off, all the way off.
All the way off.
Okay.
So they, you can't reconstruct one from scratch. So they said that we can turn him into a girl, and you just raise him as a girl. So the parents tried to do that. They brought him to Baltimore to Johns Hopkins. There was some doctor here named Dr. Money. He was from Switzerland, but he's working here. And this was his little experiment. He was like, he thought nurture could triumph over nature.
Yeah.
Couldn't find out the kid, his whole life was like, yo, I didn't want to wear dresses. I didn't want to kiss my boys. I didn't want to do none of that. So he said something always felt off. When he turned 13, they were going to give him the genital surgery.
Mm.
And then finally his family, because I guess they felt guilty, came out and told him the truth.
Mm.
And was like, this is what happened. Kid was like, what's my real name then? And he was like, Bruce.
Mm.
He was like, all right, well, I'm not having this surgery, and I'm going to live the rest of my life as a man. Mm. Then when he turned 38 years old, he offed himself. Because he couldn't deal with, everything that his family put him through.
Yeah.
And I said that was a cautionary tale, but you see places like Washington State and Oregon pushing, or encouraging this nonsense with children. They say, the kids in their teens, like 15 years old, who don't know what they want yet. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, and then what's going to happen when those kids turn 25, 26, 30 years old? They'll be like, oh Lord, what did I just do?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
We have a lot of David Reimers out here. You do now. The shit is sad and sickening. And then to see a woman sitting there trying to advocate and getting upset on behalf of the key people, I'm like, y'all don't know what y'all doing. Y'all are making yourselves extinct.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And what's shorty name? Brittany Griner?
Yeah, Brittany Griner, yeah.
Now she talking about let him play in the WNBA?
Yeah. After her career is over.
Right, after her career is over.
Yeah.
So now you're gonna have Carmelo Anthony Light in there dunking and putting his nuts on her neck. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of these girls who play basketball all their lives that aspire to go to the WNBA or make something of themselves, they're gonna get left behind. And a lot of women don't understand that. The more and more they march and they protest and they for trans rights and shit like that, the more and more they're gonna get left behind.
That's big facts. That's big fact. That's what I said. I'm a true feminist, man, because advocating for these people to come into women's spaces is not true feminism.
Right. It's not true feminism. You know what I mean? But this shit is a sad fact of reality. But the fact that women are actually advocating for this, I'm like, how could you do that? Like, I don't get it. They like I said before, they literally trying to figure out how to grow babies, next to the turnip greens.
Right.
You know what I mean? They literally trying to have Cabbage Patch Kids.
Yep.
And take you out of the equation. They're in the process of making these incubators. Mm. They had them back in the day at Coney Island, apparently. And then they're trying to make these incubators where you can grow a full baby in it.
Correct.
And you don't need a womb. It's an artificial womb. You don't need a woman.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the sad part, bro. And we fast track on that shit.
Yeah, I think that's dangerous to have an artificial womb. I feel bad for the child to not have a human connection 24/7. All right, you'll have some sort of synthetic, and I think it's going to harm the development of that child and how they come out. You're going to have like a soulless child almost, right? Because usually its first human interaction is with mom in the womb, and that's a communication thing that's happening back and forth all day long. You know what I mean?
Right. They're experiencing the food that mom eats. They're experiencing the music and entertaining the mom's entertain. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm talking about like when the baby kicks the stomach and mom is rubbing the foot, or the mom talking to the baby, or the baby feeling the emotions, or when mom's walking.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
All of that, what you said, and all of the physical interactions, all of that is gone, and I think it's going to really harm the development of the embryo.
Right, so the kid won't have that human-to-human interaction with their maternal mother.
Right.
You know what I mean? They eating like liquid cockroaches or something for nutrients. While they in the womb and stuff like that. I swear, but I don't understand it. Like I say, I told somebody before, I was like, I don't understand how you can, if you're a man, how you can't love a woman. Like once you get those sweet walls, HJ. once you get them sweet walls, it's like it's the best thing in the world. You just love women after that.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Or want to be with a woman. I never understood it. Like I always came down to it. Even before I read about it being in a part of like the medical journals, I'm like, it's got to be some kind of disconnect between the body and the brain.
Yeah, absolutely. There's some trauma there for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, what you think about you think Tucker Carlson going to do Rogan numbers once he start doing his own thing?
It looks like it. It looks like he'll be doing Rogan numbers.
20 million views on that one little 3-minute video on Twitter.
Yeah. He got a lot of views on that one video, where he didn't say much at all, but he said a lot, right?
Foreshadowing.
Yeah.
A lot of foreshadowing.
So I'm keeping my eye on it. I don't know where he's gonna land or if he creates his own thing, but it's gonna be interesting to watch.
Yeah, it's gonna be really interesting to watch. Meanwhile, Don Lemon probably gonna get a show with Joy Reid, because he's just a female Joy Reid, and he's just a male Joy Reid. That's all he is.
He might end up on
He's
The
a
View.
sidekick. Because he's a sidekick at best, man. They might kick Whoopi off and put Don Lemon on.
Yes, yeah.
He could be up there with the rest of them catty ass women.
Yeah, I don't think he could. I don't even think he's strong enough to even replace Whoopi. Whoopi practically runs The View.
Yeah, that's true. Like, he's just a male Ron Burgundy. He just read the news. That was it.
Yeah.
That's all he could do. He could read the news. And then he tried to do that activist shit. It just don't work for him.
Yeah.
He's a bad actor. I'm telling you. Also, the stuff in the Sudan, I don't know. They said that they had a biohazard leak. Or somebody, they seized the biolab, and then everybody trying to evacuate the Sudan.
Yeah, it's a biolab leak. Yep.
And this is coming on the heels after, I guess, a few months ago, old Billy G was talking about we're going to have another one soon.
Mm-hmm.
Now, all of a sudden, we got a siege lab in the Sudan.
Yep.
And now we got troops and all that other stuff. People better pay attention to over there in the Sudan. All the stuff they got us distracted by right now. I think they're trying to distract us from stuff like that. So,
yeah.
pay attention to that. Keep your eyes on Sudan.
Well, Uncle Hotep has that theory, right, where he said the removing of Tucker is because something bigger is coming down, something to deal with war, and then we see the Sudan stuff, so it could be that.
It could very well be that. It's going to be interesting to watch to see what goes down with that. I don't know. World War III might be fought in Sudan.
Right.
I don't know. Or it may spark off in the Sudan.
World Health Organization says there is an extremely dangerous situation and huge biological risk after a lab containing virus samples falls into control of Sudan fighters. Yeah.
Somebody asked in my chat last night how long before they start putting Sudan flags in their bios.
Yeah, I'm about to follow you. I'm about to follow you and get ahead of that curve and put it in my bio right now.
Yeah, I'm about to do the same thing. I didn't get a chance to yet. I'm about to put the Sudanese flag in my bio today. Get right ahead of the curve, see what happens. Yeah, but anyway, I'm about to sit here and finish eating this lovely top ramen I'm eating right now. Not top ramen. I'm at a ramen spot.
Okay.
It might make Unc jealous, you know what I mean?
All right, enjoy your meal, bro.
All right, bro. Hotep and Bill.
Hotep and Bill. I know somebody was trying to get in there. Pause. On the call line, 202-596-5631. I'm going to plug my charger in for my phone. All right, here we go. My iPhone's dying over here. I tweeted out what's the grift of the day, and Wendy O responded, "You leaving Austin, Hotep Jesus." Yeah, I wish I could have stayed. I know they had a lot of fun last night too. Phone call coming in.
Call from
Goldstein.
Hotep Goldstein, what up, bro?
What's happening?
Chilling. What's on your mind, brother?
As far as these trans people go, right?
Uh-huh.
I'm all for it. Listen, this is how this should go. With the exception of actual forcing motherfuckers into doing shit through either strong arming them financially or whatever the case may be. I think everything that they got going on should remain going on, because if that's not the biggest honeypot for some sick motherfuckers, I don't know what it is. So just go ahead and let them fall into that pit, and then we can just kick the dirt on them afterwards.
What's the honey pit?
The whole gender ideology thing.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. That's gonna take away a slew of people. And like I said on the show last night, the only people part of that movement are people that nobody wants to fuck, right? So all the what they call undesirables is the term that they use. Yeah, that's a honeypot for the undesirables.
Exactly. Just go ahead and let them fall into that pit, and after it's all said and done, and when the smoke clears, because no good can come from it.
Mm-hmm.
And people will see that within the next maybe 20 or so years, and then the movement will just fizzle out on its own.
Yeah.
But just go ahead and let them go ahead and fall in that motherfucker.
You know what? A part of me feels the same way, bro. A part of me feels the same exact way. Fuck them.
Yeah. They listen, you can't talk to no motherfuckers, nobody. I mean, it's not just them. I'm talking about all of the honeypots out there. All of them. Let everybody fall into that shit. Hey, for all we know, what would be a hell of a twist is if all this World Economic Forum shit, all them fools up there, they ain't trying to control the world. They actually just trying to clean the gene pool out. With all their planets and all the eat the bugs, and yeah, go ahead and eat the bugs. And then they see these fools eat the bugs, and like, yeah, that's the list over there. Poison the bugs now. We got them off the map, and just keep going on until it. And then when it's all said and done, they pull up on everybody and be like, listen, we wasn't evil. We was just trying to get rid of as much motherfucking garbage as we could. This was the only way we could figure out how to do it. We sorry if it caused any inconvenience, but here's a better world for you.
Word. I agree.
I got and I got one more question off topic for you.
Okay.
The other day, your video got shot just for a few seconds for the copyright shit.
Oh, yeah.
So I thought at the time, I was like, yo, what would happen if you had showed the video with no sound, but had AI do all of the text for you? Would that still be a copyright?
Probably not. Well, the thing is, there's some detection that happens, and I think it's the audio that gets detected as it was encoded with, whatever they're putting in the back end as it gets registered, and it's the audio that gets picked up. So as long as the audio's not playing, YouTube wouldn't know.
Right. So you could just have Chat GPT mimic the audio while the video is playing.
Yeah, absolutely.
That'd be a way around that shit.
Yeah. I could probably get a transcript and program that. But yeah, good ass idea.
All right, bro. Well, you take it easy for the rest of your day.
All right, bro. Hotep and Bill.
All right, bud.
Hotep Goldstein. Y'all crazy, man. Y'all koofies be on so tight. Ah, damn. Jabari in the chat. I saw another member in here. Where are you? Resuscitado. He said, what up, Jesus? What's up, bro? Welcome. One of our lovely members on this channel. And I saw another comment here that I wanted to respond to. Oh, the Haram Life. He said, I was watching the new Power show. They did Hotep's dirty, had some dork playing a Hotep. Yo, did you see that? Bro, they did it so dirty on Power. So dirty.
Call from
Hamas.
Hamas, you want to lie with Hotep Jesus? Talk to me, man.
Yeah. No, sorry, the audio was cut off. Hotep?
Yeah, I'm here. What's up, bro?
Yeah, so according to the first video, I mean, what can you do? I mean, people, it's just brainwashing of the kids,
Yeah.
Universities. I mean,
you're talking about the girls that were advocating for the tea people.
Yep.
Okay.
So what I think is, the problem is what happens is, in the past, if you remember, like feminism was women could work, And then slowly, they were like, oh, you could work, but you cannot do this. And these women got motivated. Oh, we cannot do this. We want to do this. So the thing is, it's the messaging, how they message, how they like go inside their mind, what we have to learn.
Yeah.
Is what they're good at.
Yeah. Persuasion.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what Scott Adams talks about. He breaks down how the media is very manipulative and persuasive. Yeah. And we have to learn from that. I totally agree. I totally agree.
Like, for example, do you know who Majid Nawaz is?
Yeah, he was on Rogan.
Yeah, he was on PDP yesterday. So, because he worked in Hizbul Tahrir, like whatever the terrorist organization part of. So one of their main things was how to convince people to do something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How to like, even if you lose the argument, for example, it's like beefing. For example, like it's like raw beefs, like a bar, it doesn't matter what you said, but what you said is strong. It hits you more.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That's the thing. As far as as far as the Tucker thing, I just think like they're smart people. Now they're shifting the like mainstream to internet. So basically, what I call Joe Rogan, what I call Bill Maher, these are like mainstream people just using the internet now. Not Bill Maher, I mean Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
So internet is the new cable media, basically.
Yeah.
And people like Joe Rogan are still promoted by the system. Although people think, oh, they're not promoted. Of course he is. Like 100 million Spotify. Are you kidding me? Why would Spotify offer him in the first place?
Yeah.
And the thing is, all people say, oh, but he's still anti-establishment. Oh, look, the media is attacking him. I'm like, yeah, the media is attacking him, but at the same time, they're promoting him. Why isn't the media attacking Louis Farrakhan anymore? Why isn't the media attacking, Riza Islam anymore? If they attack, they just say, oh, Nation of Islam is bad. But when they attack, like, Joe Rogan, they say, oh, Joe Rogan said this, and he did this, and they make themselves sound stupid. So at the same time, it means like they're promoting these figures. What do you think?
What's your question?
So my question is, do you think like there are two sides of media now, basically mainstream media? One is cable news, which is like easy to debunk, and the new one is internet.
Yeah. Yeah, there are two. There are two medias, yes.
Yeah. So, like people like they think like people like Donald Trump or UFC is like something like which is more like anti-establishment, but at the same time, those people are being funded by Ari Emanuel.
Okay. All right. Continue. So, what's your point? That you're saying you're saying that you have two medias, but the other media that's supposed to be anti-establishment is actually funded by the establishment.
Yep.
Yeah.
So is it really?
Well, well, here's the thing. It's not that cut and dry, right? Because if you ask somebody who doesn't like the Hotep Jesus brand, or like, who is it, Aunt Bibi? Aunt Bibi was like, yeah, Hotep Jesus is like CIA now, or I forget what she accused me of being, because I appear on Fox regularly, right? So it's like, am I compromised because I'm on legacy media? You know, sometimes I think the conversations are more nuanced.
But the thing is, Hotep, look, are they promoting you?
They have
are
me
they
on.
Funding you?
They
have you on, but are they funding you? Are they promoting you like the Rogan, Tucker Carlson?
But we might do a deal. Like if I do a deal, right? For example, I have Master Focus, right? And Ari Emanuel comes around and he's like, yo, I want to invest. If the numbers look right, he can invest in the company, right? Does that make me controlled opposition because he invested in my business?
No, it doesn't. But the thing is, at the same time, it means like they're not scared of you.
Okay. So Why do they have to be?
So your message
They're not
is
afraid of
not
anybody.
Like, yeah, the thing is they're not, but they're afraid of some people like Dr. Shiva.
They're not afraid of Dr. Shiva.
Yeah, where has Dr. Shiva been for the last 8 months?
I've spoken to Dr. Shiva. Dr. Shiva's an A-class grifter, and they're not afraid of Dr. Shiva. Dr. Shiva just, he's not a threat. Like, Dr. Shiva is not a threat. Like, what?
But the Nation of Islam is.
The Nation of Islam's not a threat.
Then why their channels are being taken down from Rumble as well?
Because the
Their
rhetoric.
website is being flashed.
You said taken down from Rumble?
Yeah, the Riza Islam's, not Riza Islam's, Dr. Nuri Muhammad's channel was taken down by Rumble recently.
For what?
They didn't tell him. No specific reason. They
Dr.
just took
who?
it down. Nuri Muhammad.
Who is that?
Yeah, Nation of Islam. One of the
Nuri
guys
Muhammad?
Yep.
How do you spell Nuri?
Nuri.
Okay, that's what I typed in. Dr. Nuri Muhammad. All right. Yeah, I didn't hear about this.
Yeah, it's very hard to find, but they just took him down like maybe a week ago, something like that.
Man, he didn't have an explanation as to why.
That's the thing. And some of like the Nation of Islam's channel is on Rumble, but they're like demonetized there, so you can't find their videos easily. They have like 568 like people who follow them, but like they get more views, but at the same time their subscriber rate doesn't increase. Why is that? I mean, there is something going on. Plus I have like, there's another channel on Rumble which is called AM Wake Up. They criticize Peter Thiel and stuff, and they aren't being promoted. And then they have to shift to what do you say, other alternative media like Rockfin.
You said AM Wake Up?
Yep, AM Wake Up. You type in AM Wake Up and you see
I
their
see it
numbers.
here.
You're like, what the hell is going on?
773 followers. I see him.
Yeah, but like, look at the views. And now go to rockfin.com and type the same thing and you'll see the numbers are quite high.
So you're saying that they're being suppressed by Rumble?
Yep.
Oh. I was not aware of this.
That's the thing. So, now you see my point.
AM Wake Up. Hold on, I see it here. So on Rockfin they have 6,000 followers, and on Rumble they only had a few hundred.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you see the likes, the views. This is what I
Oh,
mean.
this is Forest Mommy. Oh, I know Forest
Who?
Mommy.
Oh, the guest.
She was one of the guests on this show. Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's what I mean. I need to say like, Rumble is like just another mainstream media which they're okay of. If you challenge that media, you're nowhere.
Well, I wouldn't disagree with that. And that's something that I've been very aware of for a while now. You know, just because you have a left and a right wing doesn't mean that they're not both establishment. I mean, do you become Rumble without having a massive VC base? And then I know that was connected to Locals, and they have Dave Rubin. I think Dave Rubin is the one that created Locals, but all these guys are like all well connected. And we know Dave Rubin, he's down with the Rainbow Mafia. So,
not the Rainbow Mafia, Israel Mafia with DeSantis as well.
oh man. See, now I see why they're getting banned. You can't talk about that stuff.
You can talk about Peter Thiel, you cannot talk about Ari Emanuel. I mean, if you criticize those people, you're... Another guy is Jason Burmas, if you know him.
Nah, I never heard of any of these people.
Yeah, so type in Jason Burmas on Rumble and type in Jason Burmas on Rockfin,
How do
and
you
you
spell
see
that?
the numbers.
Jason what?
Burmas, B-E-R-M-A-S.
Jason, B-E-R-M-A-S?
Yep.
Okay, I see him here. He's got 17,000 over here on Rumble. He's verified.
Yeah, go to Austin.
He's verified. I'm looking at him on Rumble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's verified because he works for Red Voice Media, but before he wasn't verified, and plus he had to change his content, but he doesn't put all of his content on Rumble like he does on Roxanne.
I see. Interesting. Yeah, I don't deal with that type of content, bro. I know there's people out there that want to talk about the Israel lobby and all that, but shout out to Israel. You know what I'm saying? You can't beat them, join them. So I'm fucking with Israel. I ain't fucking with y'all. I ain't fucking with y'all on that side of it. The whole side of the. Here's my view on it. Here's my. Let me explain my view on it. Okay. It's just different forms of bitch assness, right? It's just like when you come to the internet, what are you going to complain about, right? Some people are going to complain about black people. Some people are going to complain about white people. Other people are going to complain about Israel. And it's just all bitch assness, no matter how you look at it. So I tend not to deal in bitch assness. My only beef is with monetary policy for the most part in Congress. The people that are directly in charge of my life. But I don't deal in the whole Israel stuff and all of that. You know what I mean? If y'all want to complain about that, I would.
Earth stuff like space, Earth, moon.
You said what?
Space, how they don't tell us what the real Earth is, what we really live on.
Yeah, I don't get into all that dumb shit either, too, because it's like after you find out Earth is flat, what are you going to do with that information?
It's not Earth is flat. It's
Well,
like
whatever
there's
shape.
more-
If we find out
more
Earth is the
resources.
shape of a diamond, like what do you do with that information after you find it out? What if we find out space isn't real and there's nothing outside and the stars are just a projection? If you find it out, what are you going to do with that information?
First thing, if you know there is more land to the Earth, you will try to explore more. You will get more people. If you learn there is more soil on this planet, you can grow food everywhere you want. That could change everything. For example, let me give you an example. Do you know the Amazon forest in Brazil?
Yes.
So it's impossible to grow food right there, for example.
You said it's impossible?
Impossible to grow food there. So what in the ancient times the natives did, they changed the soil to terracotta. Terracotta is a type of soil which you use like to change soil, something like that, and they started.
Yeah.
So they started changing they changed their soils. So all of a sudden now food started growing there.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
So what are you going to do with the information we find out the Earth is some other shape? What do you do with that?
So, for example, if you find out like the Earth is like, it's not only the shape. It's like there are more places to the Earth we don't.
So you're going to get in the
tell you
plane and you're
about.
going to go check them out, right? Right?
So you can check it out. You can see what.
I'm not going to do that though.
See,
But like I'm not going to do that. Like I don't really give a damn
you're
about
not
that
gonna
shit.
do that,
I don't
but,
give a
like,
damn about fucking
they
how many
want you to
stars
check
there
that
are in the sky and like. Like I just don't deal in that fringe part of the internet, and the whole like, oh, the Israel lobby. And it's just like, okay, Israel has power. Like, what are you going to do about it? Like, nothing? He hung up.
Call from
Kyle.
Yo, what up, bro? You on the line with Hotep?
Yo, what's up, man?
Yo, what's good,
hey,
bro?
I want to talk. I don't know how time you got. I got a couple things. This last guy got me a little bit. I don't want to say triggered or whatever, but as far as part of his point is well taken. As far as some of the independent media and guys like you or Rogan or whoever. I think part of the point of your channel is like you can't. Some of the stuff you talk about, you don't just go out there and trust everything that someone's telling you. You don't buy it. I don't just listen to Hotep Jesus and say, hey, Hotep Jesus said this, so this is the way, I think this is what it is.
Right.
I see you say things like, oh, that's pretty interesting. And I go look into it more. Just like you should do with anything else. I think I heard a guy a couple weeks ago say, oh, you shouldn't be fucking around with Ben Shapiro. Well, I don't think Ben Shapiro is the coolest guy either, but I still listen to him. I still see what he has to say. I listen to like, when you say, keep your enemies close.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, you need to know what people that even more so than the people that you do like, and the people that you don't like are saying.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, kind of that, I mean, hey, I call your number, I see, I'm calling Washington, D.C., somebody was like Washington, D.C., it's like, oh, that's a little, whatever, but hey, when Hotep Jesus starts saying suspect stuff, I'll start being a little more skeptical about that. But right now, like guys like you, guys like Rogan, they still, you come off as genuine and not trying to completely bullshit people, right?
Yeah.
Obviously you're a capitalist. You're trying to, do well for yourself, your family, the things that you're promoting.
Yeah.
Right. You have goals and aspirations. It's really weird, this whole thing that, the other point I want to get to is, you talk about these people in Congress and, what it should be, how to kind of change politicians. You're saying, there should be no incentive, like all these kinds of things. And part of that, I understand what you're saying, but part of that, how are you going to get people to get in there and do something and be genuine and if the only thing they have to do is basically be afraid, right? There is no upside.
Right.
So if you want to get in there and, like me, like I'm a nobody, right? But I think, hey, I could go out there and I could be a genuine person if I were in Congress or something like that, and I could vote. If I were in there, I would just, I would want to get in there just, not because I think I would change anything, just because I'd vote no on every fucking thing they put out there, probably, because most of it I don't agree with.
Right.
Right. So, but if I really wanted to try to do that, I mean, what is my incentive? I'm probably just going to get me or my family hurt.
Right. Exactly.
So, I kind of called the other day saying something about it. It's like, what do you do? You just prepare yourself. You're a small community, and just go about your business, or try to interact a little bit. What do you do?
Right.
Anyway.
No.
That's what I think about
Great point.
that guy. I just don't get people like that. Like I said, they all have their own.
What do you mean?
individual
Get
thing,
people like that? What do you mean?
Well, kind of like you said, you have your own individual, point. So go out there and fight for it. I guess in a way that's, what he's doing, but, sorry. I guess it is. The right and the left to me. There is no right and left. To me, there's two different lefts.
Yeah.
They both. Progressivism is where they think. The government. There's going to be a centralized thing. There's going to be a centralized source that brings us all, forward as humanity, right, together.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe the quote unquote left and right disagree on some things. What they agree on is that the government is going to get together and they're going to move us forward as a society and make everything better. Right. And that's not what's going to happen, right? What we need is not more. We don't need more. I think I've heard Michael Malice, say spells on the magic scrolls or whatever, right? We need to get rid of more of them.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
We need we don't need people to get in there and write down ways, extra ways to make it better.
Right.
The federal government, to me, it's kind of I kind of contradict myself because, I think all of the solutions are at the local level and people need to concentrate on their local communities and their local level. But at the same time, a lot of the solutions are at the federal level and getting them to release the power that they have over these communities. Because right now, all the local communities, they just take all of their problems up. They say, oh, I'm going to go to the federal government and fight for you to have them fix your problems.
Right.
And that takes all the responsibility off of them. And like you said, there's this Republican and Democratic infrastructure, and they have that. And their infrastructure is like, hey, we have the line to the man, Oz out there.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll go get some money for you, or go get whatever you want.
Yeah.
Right. And that whole paradigm has to be changed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, I agree. I would agree. Yeah, I appreciate you calling in, bro.
Yeah.
All right, Hotep and
Take it
Bill.
easy.
I think he's made some points. I don't know. I don't deal in those fringe parts of Twitter or the internet. Like the dude said, Nuri Muhammad got suspended from Rumble. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, I'm pretty sure Rumble is Jewish money. So I don't see how the Nation of Islam and Jewish money or Jewish people would coexist. I don't see that world. And if I see somebody talking about Israel lobby, I would expect them to just be suspended, right? Like, I'm pretty sure we know. Hold on, Chad's calling me. I got in late, can't see the call number. Hold on, let me give Chad the call number. 202 596 5631. 202 596 5631. So Chad is the call number. Chad's about to call in. Oops. Chad's about to call in here in a second. And the dude mentioned how I had the 202 number, right? And that's Washington, D.C. Like, I did that on purpose. I was like, oh, I can get a number? Oh, let me get a D.C. number, right? Like, that was like a conscious decision to get a D.C. number.
Call from
Hotep Nebuchadnezzar.
to accept.
Yeah, you on the line? What's up, bro?
Yo,
what's
this
good?
is completely off topic, so I apologize.
Okay.
But I just had this thought, and I had to share it with you first.
All right.
All right, so check it. This whole rainbow agenda, I just figured it out.
Okay.
This is the white liberals' way of becoming a minority without having to do anything. All you got to do is say, I'm bisexual, I'm non-binary. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to change anything. You get to keep doing all the same shit you were doing before. But now you're a diversity hire.
Bingo. Bingo. Bingo.
And you're still white as snow.
Yep. Yep.
Just put a septum ring in and paint your hair purple and rock on. Work at Starbucks.
It's a way to become it's like low-hanging, lazy way fruit to become a fruit. I mean, a minority.
Yeah.
I like that.
And
I'm
so
stealing that.
So you naturally get this manifestation of the, because they were talking to Brittany Griner about the sports stuff, and she said it should be a crime to separate people for sports. I'm like, you play women's basketball. Brody called it out. He's like, so then what is women's sports? Shout out to Brody.
Yeah, what is women's sports without women?
Go try out for the NBA then, Brittany.
Word.
Otherwise, you're a criminal.
Word.
And you should have been locked up in America before you even went to Russia.
Right. Right.
Anyway, that's it.
I appreciate you, bro. See you, Hotep Con.
Have a great weekend. All right, man. Peace.
All right. Hotep and Bill. There's these fringe parts of the internet, and it's just like they say a lot of different things. And I'm not here to say people should be banned or, I wouldn't want to support any policies like that. I'm all for free speech and saying what you want, but there's a reason why I'm on Fox and they're not.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
It's just the facts of the matter. I think we all have different goals, right? I think our goals just don't align. So, if you want to talk about all these fringe topics on Rofkin or whatever, it is, I'm not saying that stuff shouldn't exist. I'm not saying you shouldn't enjoy it. It's just not my cup of tea. It's not what I'm into. I just don't find that productive for my own goals. I plan on being a superstar. And I know what it takes to get there. And it takes cooperation with all types of people. I, for one, cannot wait to work alongside the Jewish Israel lobby.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Shalom to my brothers. I'm not here to cry about, who got power and who not. Get me as close to the power as possible so I can get me some power. I don't give a damn what hat you got on. Kufi, yarmulke, baseball cap. I don't give a damn. I'm not afraid of none of these motherfuckers. I don't come on here complaining about shit. The only thing I got a problem with is monetary policy and the weirdos. It's the only thing I got a problem with. So we gonna, I find stuff on the internet that I find interesting and bring it up. Yeah, the Grift King. You see it, Brandon. I'm out here grifting, man. It's preseason and grifting season. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to exist on the fringe of the internet. I want to exist in the mainstream. I want to reach as many people as possible with my message. I don't want 6,000 on Rofkin. I want 600 million worldwide for my message. These are the type of views I want, okay? So I don't play all these games, talk about all these. And there's a lot of different topics I just frankly don't talk about because it's just so like, it's just so fringe and frankly to me uninteresting. But again, like that's subjective. Like what is it that Hotep Jesus finds interesting, right? What do I feel needs to be talked about? And I try to talk about the things that people aren't talking about, like the Sudan conflict. You know, I wanted to bring that up. We'll talk about bills that are being passed. You know, stuff that's like super relevant to our life right now where you can take action on and call your senators and say, hey, stop this bill. You know, not some old like mystical guy behind what's the name? We have to take them down. I'm not even interested in destroying the power structure. I don't even think that's possible. I thought about this long and hard for many, many years. You know, this idea of taking down the power structure. And I'm like, well, if you take down a power structure, isn't it another one going to take its place? And then who is the power structure before then? Basically what you have is an inevitability of power. So it doesn't matter what hat that person's wearing. If there's a power structure there, I'm not here to expose the power. I'm here to circumvent it. Right? That's why I'm in crypto. You don't like the dollar? Well, we got crypto. We got Syscoin. We don't got to use their money. I'll use their money and Syscoin. You know, I just like being more solution oriented. We move on Hotep Con to Ahern, Jerusalem. Shalom to my brothers out in Israel. Like even the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Like, no disrespect to the Palestinians, but Palestinians don't like black people.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
For the most part, right? For the most part. Like, if you go to any one of these foreign countries, they don't fuck with Africans. They don't fuck with black people. Like, black people are the most hated people on the planet. So, like, you want me to choose between a group of people that hate me and another group of people that potentially hate me? Like, this is what you want me to choose? No, I'm not going to do that. That's between y'all. I'm not Palestinian. You give a damn about the Israeli-Palestinian conflict? I've had a bad experience with a Palestinian before. A really traumatizing experience. I had a Palestinian I was working with that I thought I could trust, and he showed me he's no good than anybody else. I saw no difference between him and the next greedy person. You know how they like to push that trope like, oh, you know, Jews are just greedy and all this other stuff. Palestinians ain't no different. I could find you a homie in New York that ain't no different. This is a personal type. This isn't a people type, right? You know, they talk about, oh, the slave contracts. Diddy was passing around them slave contracts. Is Diddy Jewish? So I don't get involved in that type of stuff, bro. I don't get involved in that type of stuff. Show me somebody with some power so I can go in the room and have a conversation with them and we could broker a deal. That's what I'm about. I'm a businessman. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a businessman. I'm a businessman.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Scared of these motherfuckers. I ain't worried about these motherfuckers. I don't care what kind of hat you got on. I'm out here trying to get my grift on. He said, I met some Arabs that was worse than the Klan. This is what I'm saying. I don't even think that's a Jewish thing. I think that's a regional thing. I think that's like a Persian area thing of how they do business. Like, the way that side of the world does business is very much through a lot of negotiating, right? Like, if you go to one of these bazaars or street festivals and you say, hey, I got this necklace on sale, it's $15, the American's going to come around, he's going to pay you $15. But a person from a foreign nation in the Eastern world is going to heckle you on price. I give 13. I give 13. You take 13. You take 10. I give you 10 cash now. This is what you're going to hear. Like in the Eastern culture, negotiation's part of business. Getting over on people is part of business. So this ain't This is a Eastern versus Western way of doing business. Western people do business different from Eastern people. So when I hear people complaining about, you know, who got this lobby, got that lobby, and this lobby got power in that lobby, my only question is, where's your lobby?
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Where's your lobby? Where's your lobby? It's a culture as well. Maybe. No, bye now. Monica Williams said they barter. Yeah, they'll barter. It's a different way of life in the East. They don't do business like us. You know? So, you know, when he talks about, you know, Nation of Islam getting banned and all of that stuff, they be saying some wild shit sometimes. I ain't saying they should be banned, but, you know, when you start talking all about Jewish conspiracy theories, yeah, I kind of expect you to be banned. I would fully expect that. You know? You know who doesn't talk about that shit?
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Shout out to Rumble, by the way. We working on a deal right now with Rumble. So while these other motherfuckers is getting banned, I'm working on a deal with Rumble right now. Like I said, I'm not here to, you know, even when we get into some of the conspiracy theories, y'all know how it be. I'm not even going to dive down this deep ass rabbit hole to come out with, you know, all the details about some conspiracy theory. Because then it's like, what am I going to do with that information? After I find out, like, what, and that's the whole point of having knowledge, right? You have knowledge, then you have to apply it, right? So you have all this information about power and this and that and this conspiracy and that conspiracy. It's like, so, okay, after you've accumulated all that knowledge about said thing, what are you gonna do with it? You know, my suggestion is just go off grid, yo. Just go off grid. Get you a farm and go off grid. Pick up and move to like Switzerland or Sweden. They got plenty of land out there, I think. Maybe. I don't know. Iceland, Greenland, Alaska. I don't know. Fucking just move, bro. Just go off grid. You don't like it? Just bounce. I, for one, happen to enjoy playing in this crazy place of America. I like the competition. I like competing. I like the business. I enjoy America. I don't think it's perfect. I think it can get better. But I just happen to like America. You should host a Ramaswamy Kennedy debate. Maybe Michael Malice can help. Yeah, I heard Michael Malice interviewed Ramaswamy. I'll probably check that out. I think Michael Malice does a great, fabulous job with interviews. So that might be something I'll check out. But Ramaswamy, I just haven't found anything impressive yet. Well, I couldn't say impressive. I just haven't found anything of interest. You know, something that specifically speaks to me. For me to be like, all right, who is this guy? I'm in. Let me find out more about him. Same thing with Tulsi Gabbard. I never really got into learning who she was or what she was about. I did a little bit of research, you know, found out she was on the Council of Foreign Relations and all that stuff. And, you know, that is what it is. But, you know, I'm just more about, I think my first order of actions would be remove the Monetary Control Act of 1980, first and foremost. And putting a movement behind that, because then that sort of releases the power of the Federal Reserve, and creates some sort of decentralization of capital, some resemblance of decentralization of capital. So yeah, you know, and that's what I wrote about in my book, right? Like, it's like we do all these things and all this research. And it's like, what are you going to do with this information? So I chose to do the research on the Federal Reserve and the history of America, right? And for me, and I think this is where I part with these people, right? Because a lot of these people are America first and I'm a patriot and all of that. And I named my book The Patriot Report because my book was for those people. Because I'm like, bro, America doesn't exist. Like, you know, when you have your founding fathers, you know, the same ones that apparently put their signature on the Constitution, unraveling the Constitution before the ink even dries. I'm like, so when did this idea of freedom exist? If the Fourth Amendment is destroyed before the ink on the Constitution dries. You got guys like Alexander Hamilton, like, oh yeah, I signed up for the Constitution, and now let's burn the Fourth Amendment. Let's burn the 10th Amendment. Let's just burn it. Because interpretation of language. Right? So my point being, like, after you accumulate the knowledge, what are you going to do with them? My thing was to give people a real look at America. And then you can do whatever you want with that information from there. I even had a complaint on my Amazon. One of the reviews, maybe I can pull this up and show you one of the reviews I got on my book was a negative review. Hold on, let me see if I can bring this up. Here it is. All right, let's go to the reviews on my book. Let's see. All right. Here it is right here. All right, look at this. I'm going to show you right here. Hold on. I'm going to put this on your screen. All right, so let's go here. Let's go here. Let's put that up. And this is a review I got on my book, right? And the guy says here, he says, I think there is some helpful information in here that readers might find useful. Overall, I feel this book did not deliver as to what I had hoped it to be. The writer, Hotep Jesus, uses a lot of quotes and what appears to be documented transcripts of interactions where I wish he would have just talked more and gave summaries to the information he is presenting. After finishing the reading of this book, I feel as if it was sort of rushed to print and not thoroughly proofread and reviewed by the author. On the plus side, there is some interesting information here that I believe is important to have for the record of his history. Now, I will say that he is absolutely correct. This book, well, the book itself wasn't rushed, but the proofreading aspect was rushed. It went through two sets of eyes. It went through Chad's eyes and Halima's eyes. And we just didn't get every misspelling. Sorry, I didn't get every grammatical error. I think we did a great job in cleaning up a lot of it. Like, compared to the amount of grammatical errors that were in it previously, as to after it went through a filter, I think we did a great job. But I feel there are some grammatical errors, right? But I've never judged a book based upon, misspellings and grammatical errors, especially because I read a lot of older books and there's a lot of misspellings and things like that. I'm just like, just give me the information. But really what I want to speak to is right here. And he gave me 2 stars, which I thought was a bit harsh, but it's whatever. He said it did not deliver what he hoped. He said it has quotes and documented transcripts of interactions. And what he wanted me to do was he wanted me to summarize what happened. But the name of the book is the Patriot Report, right? So I just wanted to give you a report of what transpired and then let you do whatever you want with the information, right? I didn't want to have a summary. I could have written summaries, but I didn't want to write the summary because I thought I would ruin the book. I thought I would inject my own bias and it would become more of an agenda, right? Like, I was afraid people would take the document and say, oh, he created this book because he had a skewed agenda. So when I put the materials together and the research together, about 2 years, definitely more than 2 years, but the real compiling all the information into the document took about 2 years. So when he said it was rushed, it wasn't rushed. I took my time. I took 2 years on this. But yeah, like, I just wanted, and I took a lot out of the book too. Like, not everything made it. I did a lot. I scrutinized a lot. But I wanted the facts. I wanted to present the facts and then interpret the facts. I think I did a good job in interpreting the facts in the book, right? But the premise of my statement is what? The premise of my statement is, hey, look, there's information you're going to find. What are you going to do with it? Well, I've put this information together and I published a book.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
And then what I do? Well, now I'm using my research to spread a certain message that's about financial literacy, right? It's not even about like, hey, we got to take down the Fed. No, my goal is to just create intellectual minds, to create critical thinking minds, to teach people how to view history, how to view the banking system. And then you don't have to do all the conspiratorial work. You don't have to do, hey, I got to expose this lobby. No, what you have to do is you have to just open people's minds. And then they'll be able to do all the scrutiny themselves. So that's just sort of how I operate. Natasha said there's a part in the book, The Daily Stoic, saying how the messages that are meant to be learned are too often lost in a minute, minute, unimportant details. Yeah. Eric Santos said, I mean, the info is important and this smart people kind of dumb sometimes. Yeah, but I know what he meant, right? Like, Hotep Jesus is about to come out with a book. Oh man, he's about to just drop gems on us and tell us what he thinks about all this stuff. And I was just like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to tell you what I think. I want you to tell me what you think after I present to you the facts. That's what I want to do. I don't want to say, my interpretation of it all. If you come to Hotep Con, we can talk about the interpretation of it all. We can talk about a lot off the record. You come to Hotep Con, I don't mind having that issue. I mean, those conversations. I just don't mind it. She said, but you said that already about the information given as far as not being a commentary piece. Yeah, I didn't want it to be a commentary piece. That wasn't the goal. However, I have my fourth title in the works, which is going to be what this guy wants, right? He wants to hear my summary of things. And this is more of a, I guess, you'll see. It's my opinions on our society. So this is my fourth title. I think might be more his alley. He wants to know how I think about things, et cetera, et cetera. But I didn't want to do that. I wanted to put together a history book with my third title, The Patriot Report, Unmasking the Conspiracy of Money and War. And I think I did a fucking fabulous job, too. He said, Resuscitado said, I like that because it promotes open and free thought. Yes, that's my goal. I don't want to tell you what to think. I just want you to think. So you look at the facts and you tell me, based upon what Benjamin Franklin said, what the truth is. All right? Don't go fuck what Hotep Jesus says. Let's go by the words of Benjamin Franklin. So he said that. There's a lot of quotes in here, right? So the Currency Act. Here's what Benjamin Franklin said. The colonies would gladly have borne a little tax on tea and other matters had it not been that England took away from the colonies their money, which created unemployment and dissatisfaction. So what was this stuff really about? Was the Revolutionary War really about what they told us it was? Or was it about the fact the United States wanted to create its own money, its own currency? You tell me. So that was the goal of my book. So yeah, I have book 2, 3, 4, and 5. Well, I have 3 titles out right now. I have Dominate Twitter. That's only available on HotepJesus.com. I have The Unbreakable Rules of Masculinity. That's available on HotepJesus.com and Amazon. And then I have The Patriot Report. And that's available on HotepJesus.com and Amazon. So you guys go get that title. Yeah. You know what was interesting about my book, The Patriot Report? Shout out to Rilo Tomas. He did a great job on the cover, by the way. Was the arguments in Supreme Court or the arguments of congressmen. because as much as there's oppression in America, there's a lot of freedom. You see, the difference is there's freedom for the intellectual and not much freedom for the unintellectual. You know, people complain about how much taxes Donald Trump pays. And I'm like, well, he's an intellectual person who has the ability to avoid some taxes. If you're an idiot, you pay all of your taxes, right? So really, America's designed for the intellectual. That's the real 1%, the people who understand how things work. So you have two people that are walking to the same courtroom for the same exact charges. One person's going to go and he's going to do 30 days in jail, and the other person's going to walk home with a slap on the wrist. And why? One person is more intellectual than the other, or he just had a lawyer and the other person was represented by a public defendant. However, had the person been privy to things like case law, maybe he walks in and fights his own case based upon previous cases. But using this document here, the Patriot Report, it actually has the case law in there to where the American people, if you created a lobby or an organization, you could actually go into the Supreme Court and get a bunch of bills repealed based upon the arguments that were either made or not made in this book, using previous cases. So yeah.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
I had did that for Weathered Ham. Appreciate you, bro. Look, I'm about to get out of here. I hope y'all have a wonderful weekend. I will see you Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. right here. Hit the subscribe button. Can't wait to see you guys again. I'll be busy this weekend. And yeah, I'll see you guys Monday. Don't forget to take your master focus, bro. Hotep and Bill.
Didn't listen to me then, I bet they feel me now. Time don't let me lose it. The booth not about to prove it. I said goes and pursue it. You the best to never do it. Invest my money talking fluent, stupid, ducking the Judas. It broke my heart, but over my eyes, you have no honor, I have no choice. Chasing the commas till I'm a goner. Been left for a minute. On my way home, mama, I promise, got caught up in it. Damn. Everybody eats when I'm batting at the plate. First, second, third, home, $1 million base. Hotep and Bill.